Women don't care about data. They don't care about how their partners feel. They go where their feelings take them. Women are overly emotional and are terrible at remembering men actually have emotions, and don't realize that many men have no emotional support network. Most women have only ever experienced a culture that supports their overly emotional thinking, and many don't realize they need to provide emotional validation to their spouses, and are most likely the only source of emotional support for the man. Here is the logic behind my opinion. All of this is from a USA viewpoint. Heads up, this is completely unfiltered, and some of you are guaranteed to get pissed. Women in the US are seen as illogical because our society, up until very recently, still mimicked some of the aspects of the predominantly Protestant population that founded the country. Men were and are supposed to be stoic and in control of their emotions at all times. Women are expected to be controlled by their emotions and are not expected to control them to any great degree, except not throwing tantrums in public. This viewpoint was the standard for much of the population up until the last half-century. Due to this, our culture actively supports the expression of emotion from women and suppresses the expression of emotion for men. Women are, on average, born into a society that provides emotional support networks and encourages women to let their lives be run by their emotions. The thing here is that a person run entirely by emotions isn't logical. Women are supported emotionally by their female friends, their family, their significant others, if the man isn't emotionally dead. The men waiting in the wings are the actual male friends in their life. Women's emotions are constantly validated, even when they are in fact irrational, which in turn invalidates their emotions because they are considered to be emotional about everything. Men are born into a society that tells them not to trust their emotions, not to express those emotions even in privacy, with few exceptions except their spouse, and when in extremes, like the death of a loved one, and our emotions are made valid by our control over them. Due to these differences, women actively experience a much broader range of emotions, and honestly I believe that to a large degree, many women do let their emotions run their lives. Many of the women I have had relationships with have at several points allowed a completely irrational emotional response to a situation that controlled their behavior. Being as close as you can get to an automaton without brain damage, this never made sense to me. If I don't like how an emotion is making me feel, I either suppress it or change my feeling about the situation by altering my viewpoint. Many women don't seem to understand the idea that emotions are not trustworthy and that you should work to control them when they do not benefit you. I understand how crazy this probably sounds, but honestly, if you consider that our society actively supports women being overly emotional, it makes sense that they are then viewed as illogical. Makes sense, meaning I can see how I have fallen subject to some logical fallacy and incorrect thinking patterns. I want to not think this way, but at the same time much of my anecdotal experience supports this view. My sister is incapable of admitting when she lies, probably a disorder of some kind. She gets very emotional when called out, and makes the situation about how her feelings have been hurt instead of about the lie. Manipulative and ridiculous. My mother is incapable of considering alternative viewpoints on things she has emotional connections to, such as spiritual beliefs, the quality of a person based on their actions, politics, just and correct behaviors. If she has a feeling about the thing, she immediately assumes any attempt to challenge her viewpoint is a personal attack. I dated a woman who would get upset at me for playing video games and then would spend hours staring at her phone. It wasn't that I was playing the video game, it was that I was not immediately available for her needs if I was otherwise engaged. Absurd. I dated another woman in college who would not do her homework, procrastinate, become stressed by the procrastination and looming deadlines, and then become upset by the stress. I offered the solution, either be better about procrastination or become a better procrastinator. She did not appreciate that I pointed out all of her emotions were the fault of her poor planning, and if she just planned a bit better, she wouldn't feel this way. She thought I was belittling her emotions, which I honestly was a bit. But come on, the solution is so simple. And if you are stressed, getting upset about it and sitting in your emotional puddle does nothing to fix the issue. I was friends with a woman who, I realized after the friendship ended, assigned emotional and ideological assessments to me based on discussions and conversations that were clearly hypothetical. I love playing devil's advocate and really dislike echo chambers. If someone says, obviously red is better than blue, I am guaranteed to engage assuming the person is actually a good conversationalist and not an entrenched conservative on the matter. She would quote idiotic things, like conspiracy theories about root canals causing breast cancer, and I would challenge those beliefs. It turns out she believed every single time I did this, I was attacking her personally. Of course I'm not. It's a freaking discussion about trivial matters. Why in the world would I be emotionally invested? This leads me to my viewpoint, because I didn't realize that she was incapable of separating her emotions from the discussion, which is ridiculous. Reviewing my past, many of my female friends seem to do similar things. Actually, no joke. I had one ex get upset about me because of something in a dream. I thought that was a joke. Emotions should not be considered an unassailable and ultimate deciding factor in discourse. Just because a topic makes you uncomfortable, or I hold an opposing viewpoint, does not mean I'm attacking you. Your emotions should not be brought into the conversation unless they were already a part of it. But women are so actively encouraged to be emotional that many don't realize their emotions shouldn't be a part of some things. This is caused by the over-validation of their feelings. If you feel that way, it's right that you feel that way. No, emotions shouldn't be allowed free rein, or you end up with illogical behavior, like taking discussions personally when they ultimately have no impact on you personally. Anyway, that's all for today on Manhood. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons, and also click on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. If you find value in my videos, you can show your support through PayPal or Cash App. The links are in the description. See you next time. Cheers.